Yeah, boy! Crypto Frog in the area! Best DeFi pick for 2021-2022, it's Alchemix ALCX V2 coming to a MetaMask near you. Let's get into it. Some quick housekeeping first. I'm Crypto Frog, Gucci'd up. Thumbs up for the algorithm. She insists. She's constantly at me. Get your subscribers to thumb up. And also, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Helps the algorithm. And then maybe I'll get paid more than $125 a month from YouTube. I'll get like $126.50 a month for pumping out all this gravy. Disclaimer, no financial advice. Your financials, your decisions, isn't it? You follow me on Twitter, CryptoFrog202. Let's do a price check. One Bitcoin quickly, 36.7k. More importantly, one price of Woo, $1.04. One price of Ethereum, 2,543 dollarinos. One price of Alchemix, 713.71. Goddamn bargain, if you ask me right now. Shit. Rightio. As you can see, the price is down 56% over the past 1 month. I've been waiting like a hawk for prices like this to fall back in my lap, and they have. Thank you very much. Current market cap is 173, but I can see it rising up the ranks like way faster. Yo. All right, so we all know the tropes. Alchemix, ALCX, DeFi loans that repay themselves. So the governance token, or the token that glues the whole project together, is ALCX. In V2, it's going to act like a DAO token. You can have voting rights. Team, the main dude there is Scoopy Trooples. But the team has since expanded to several different people. But he's still the main man. I know his avatar or whatever is like a female, but it's actually a guy. I think, it's my opinion, if you agree you can chat in the live chat or leave a comment below, but Alchemix It's one of, if not the most exciting DeFi protocols. And as I said, it's going to be moving on to more of a DAO structure after V2 hits, and I'll have more on that later. That being said, this isn't in any way like the most simple DeFi project you're ever going to come across. I have made one stream on Alchemix before, so if you want to check that one out first and come back to this one, if you're watching on replay, if you're live, please stay tuned. But we're going through a bit of the background anyway. But I hope I can explain it as in plain of an English as I can for y'all. I think when you understand, then you can extract maximum value out of the protocol, because that's really what DeFi is all about, extracting maximum value for yourself and the project out of the protocol. So the big feature of Alchemix, ALCX, is the fact that you can get these loans that pay for themselves. Only something in DeFi could come out with something quite extraordinary as this. You essentially get your yield up front. So I'm on the vault section here. As of now, you can only use DAI. You can get DAI from pretty much anywhere. Uniswap, Sushi Swap, Curve, you name it, they got it. So say you want to borrow like 100,000, you want to deposit 100,000 DAI, 100,000 US dollars in order to borrow alUSD, which is the stablecoin of the Alchemix ecosystem. You can do so. And there's a loan estimator here. So as you can see, if I were to put in 100,000 DAI and I borrowed straight off the bat 50,000 alUSD, which I could then go to Curve and sort for another stablecoin and then buy whatever the fuck I want with, that would just mature, estimated in 1,428 days. Or August 5th, 2025. You don't have to do anything. The yield at Yearn Finance will do it all for you. And then you'll have your original collateral back, plus you'll have spent that $50,000 on whatever you wanted. So it's really a way of like transporting yield from the future in a lot of ways, like Back to the Future styles. As I touched upon, the collateral is paid off from yield that's generated in other DeFi protocols. Pretty sure the one they're using exclusively, for now at least, is Yearn Finance, YFI. So say, for example, you want to deposit 100,000 DAI in the vault. You put it in there. Now it does take a little bit of a while to go through, just for it to filter through the system. I think that has something to do to ensure that the alUSD peg doesn't shift that much. There was an issue not so long ago when DeFi wide people were trying to pull their money out of various DeFi projects, and a lot of even like really big stable coins really got knocked off their peg pretty badly, but alUSD held up really well. And I think the fact that it does this, and plus it stops like bots front running you and shit, so it's you might have to wait like 12 hours, 24 hours for you to get your alUSD, but I mean that's worth the wait essentially for a loan that pays back itself, right? You don't have to borrow the full half back either. You can have a slide around here. Say you put 100,000 in, you just want to borrow 25. Then it would be paid off by mid-May 2023, so less than 2 years away, and that probably even could happen before that. But generally speaking, I think the average time, regardless, if you take the full 50% out straight off the bat, is around 2.5 years. But I mean, it's all working in the background anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. So how it works is you're not really, when you put DAI in, I think the reason it takes so long because you're not really borrowing DAI so much as you're borrowing a synthetic version of DAI for the alUSD, which is the Alchemix stablecoin. And it does that just to make the process more efficient and to keep alUSD as stable as possible as well. So there are two basic options. If you want to take the full 50% straight off the bat, you can take it, your principal, or you can let your borrowing power build up a little bit by leaving the DAI in there, so you'll give yourself more collateral to use to then take a loan out should you choose to do so. So the DAI is then transmuted, as they say, into the Yearn vaults, and the yield that the Yearn vaults bring in, that pays down your debt without you even knowing it. And I mean, this would just be like a fantastic idea for like if you wanted to get, I was thinking about it more like if you wanted to get a business off the ground or something like that, or even a crypto project off the ground. I mean, just scratch together a couple of 100,000, get some partners involved. You think you only need $100,000, 200,000, slap it in, get 100,000 out, and within a day you've got $100,000 worth of stablecoin. And the liquidity is as such on Curve, where you can swap a alUSD for any other stablecoin and then bang it off to exchange, withdraw it to fiat, whatever you want. But you can do so without hardly any slippage, basically. And plus, there's basically no slippage between, if you deposit 100,000 DAI, you are going to get back half of that in alUSD, and then the rest gets paid off, boom, by over time, of course, but via Yearn. You can either wait for that to be paid back, but if you come into some money or whatever in the meantime, or you just want access to that collateral again, you can repay it at any time. Here there is a button. You just pay some alUSD or DAI back and repay it instantly. So if your crypto project takes off and you're making stacks of cash and you think, oh, we don't need to wait for this loan to take until 2025 or whatever to pay off, you don't. You can just pay it off. But if not, you can just leave it. It's all good in the hood. So what can you do with your alUSD? I'll get more into ALCX in just a minute's time. It's pretty much whatever you want to do. You can just waste on stupid shit if you want. You know, buy more crypto. Yield farm something else. Buy a fucking Lambo. Buy a mansion in the Hamptons if you stick enough DAI in. I think you can actually stick, like, you could literally stick 5 million DAI in there, and that would go through. You would be able to instantly get 2.5 million alUSD, and then if you went to Curve to swap it, this is Curve, by the way, alUSD for USDC, let's test it, 2.5 million. You would actually get more than 2.5 million USDC if you're transferring it to that. including fees and everything, slippage, everything. USDT, you get like an extra 462 bucks, but you get an extra 1400 bucks with USDC. But as you can see, Curve has the ability to do it. I don't have any alUSD, that's why it's showing swap is not available in my wallet. But you can do that. As you can see, the mintable supply of alUSD is in the tens of millions, so don't worry about it. And alUSD is really going to play a bigger role in version 2 V2 when that comes out. If you just want to buy alUSD, you can do that as well. I mean, it works perfectly fine as a stable coin. In fact, it's closer to the peg than it seems that way anyway. You can swap USDC for alUSD. You can swap DAI, all on Curve, USDT, TUSD, BUSD, SUSD, PAX, REN, BTC, whatever you want. You can also go on Zapper. They have alUSD as well. Another one I think is Paraswap. They also have alUSD. So if you just want to buy alUSD with the Ethereum, you can use Paraswap or Zapper. But if you want to use stablecoins, use Curve. Let's get back to Alchemix then. This is the swap function. So they recommend Curve for swapping alUSD with DAI, USDC, and other stablecoins, basically. But if you want to swap alUSD with crypto like Ethereum or any other ERC-20 token, you can use Zapper or Paraswap. So it has been audited, Alchemix, ALCX, currently by Certic. Not really the most biggest name in the game. They have had some issues with projects they've audited before. But what is really nice, this was a Medium post from 2 days ago, uploaded by Alchemix Finance, that their contracts for V2 are now under continuous audit with runtime verification. And you might be like, oh, okay, who the fuck are they? Well, runtime verification, they're the guys auditing Ethereum 2.0. Don't you know? And plus, not only that, they're going to be actually sitting in a room together, working on the code, making sure it all's fucking smooth as silk, yo. Now, that runtime verification don't actually have any Twitter presence as far as I can make out, but this is their website, runtimeverification.com. You see their partners and customers. They've got Alchemix right at the top there. Also, they've worked with Algorand, Casper, Cosmos, Elrond, Ethereum, Ethereum Community Fund Network, Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, Maker, NASA, Parity, Polkadot, StakerDAO, Tezos, Toyota, Uniswap, Web3 Foundation, and Whiteblock. So these are the big dick cheeses in the auditing world, and they're going to be working continuously alongside runtime verification with Alchemix. Shit! Right, let's talk about what everyone's interested in. It's the farming action. So I'm on the farm page. You just have to connect your MetaMask and all that, and you're good to go. As you can see, you've got your 4 different pools here. You've got your ALCX ETH SLP pool. Current APR is just over 290%. That's where you provide liquidity, half ALCX and half Ethereum in Sushi, not Uniswap, in Sushi. Now, they get a bigger APR since they're the ones really taking the most risk, shall we say. The old impermanent loss. Fuck. The IL. The Scottish IL. So they get like just under 60% of all the ALCX rewards that are given out. Then, as you can see down here, you've got your ALCX solo staking pool. I am in there, so you can all don't need to feel the need to jump in. Disclaimer: I do have some ALCX. I ain't stupid, because we're going to get into what V2 is going to do in just a minute's time. But of course, not exposed to any risk of impermanent loss there, but the rewards are less so. APR currently 148.3% in the ALCX solo staking pool. Buy off Sushi Swap, deposit in Alchemix, and you're good to go. I also am in this because I believe that with the release of version 2, the price of ALCX is going to appreciate at a much faster pace than the price of Ethereum is going to appreciate in the short, mid, and even long term. I think slightly under 20%, around a fifth anyway, of the ALCX rewards that are emitted a week go towards that pool. Then you've got your alUSD 3 CRIV LP, 24.19%. You do that, plus you get CRIV rewards on top. And then you just got your stablecoin pool, which I mentioned in my stablecoin video. alUSD, you can deposit a stablecoin that matches $1 and get an APR of 24.14%. which is a lot better than pretty much any other stablecoin I think you can get. Let's talk a bit more about V2 then, because this is going to be fucking gravy, baby. Shit. Thumbs up, by the way, if you're just tuning in. I'll have a look at the chat towards the end. Don't worry about it. Don't get your knickers in a twist and shit. So V2's coming. Now, apparently they hope to... Sorry, just taking a sip of lime-flavoured sparkling water there. They're targeting late summer. This is Northern Hemisphere, so if you're an Australian, firstly, good day, mate. Or if you're a New Zealander, firstly, fish and chops. That will be the end of your winter, because you're like upside down, aren't you? So it's probably going to be like I heard Scoopy Trouples, the main dev of Alchemix, talking about it. Like, he's a super bright guy, actually. I suggest you take a listen to some of the YouTube videos where they talk to him and different podcasts he's appeared on. It really does give you a lot of confidence in the projects in safe hands. And I mean, holy crap, dude, they're getting continuously audited by runtime verification, who are actually doing the audit for Ethereum 2.0. Hello. Jesus. Yeah, so it could be, I think that he was saying like the earliest it could possibly come out would be late July, probably more like going to be August. At a push, if runtime verification and those guys decide, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. I think you said worst case scenario V2 comes out in early September, so really not that long. Plus anyway, I'm more of the mind of just buy ALCX when it is literally all-time high was over $2,000 and you can get it now for $700. So I'm more than happy just to be pulled up, baby. Just pulled up by the pool, sipping on a fucking mojito, waiting for V2. And compounding those gains, because the gas is so fucking cheap. Like, back before when Gwei was like super ridiculously expensive, you know, you kind of had to think, oh, maybe I should do it twice a week or something. But now you can literally do it every day, because it's 10 Gwei right now. Plus, they have some gas optimization as well, so it's even cheaper to claim the rewards and then whack them back in. But there's going to be some hardcore auditing going on from runtime verification. So safe hands, safe hands, safe hands. But anyway, already audited by Certic. Plus, they're going through V2 with runtime verification. Who fucking audit NASA? Who allegedly put Neil Armstrong on the moon in 1968. Now, when V2 comes out, it's not only going to be DAI, which is fucking exciting, yo. So, as of now, you can only deposit DAI in order to borrow alUSD. But from when V2 comes out, you'll be able to use pretty much any stablecoin, USDC, USDT. What some other ones? Can't think off the top of my head. TUSD, SUSD, GUSD. They're going to have a whole range of options available for you folks. Plus, they're going to be adding a bunch more strategies as well to really supercharge everyone's yield. I noticed they're already kind of bringing this into play, actually. Like, they're bringing in this Pickle Finance. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Pickle Finance, don't get me wrong. But if they can get you some extra yield on top of what you're doing already, then why the fuck not? So they're saying here that the double dual rewards this week via Sushi, that may have already come to an end. But you can get some pickle on top or some shit. It's like, fuck. But there's going to be a lot more of that basically going on. So I think with version 2, the plan is to obviously maintain their kind of tight relationship with Yearn Finance. I mean, that's a given. They're the biggest players in the game at you know, providing yield. But they're going to add like things like Pickle and Harvest and all these other services. Just more aggregators. Fine tune the best yield for you, the user, for you, the farmer, if you use Alchemix. And this also means you can pick from the best APYs so it's moving from a DAI-backed coin to every decent stable coin known to man. And it also means you don't have to go via Curve first or anything like that. And presumably once you get your alUSD, you'll be able to swap it back to USDT, USDC, or whatever, rather than going via Curve. I mean, all you have to do when you rock up to get your self-paying back loan is DAI anyway, which you can get from pretty much everywhere. But there is some... if you want to pay the least amount of slippage, like, let's have a look here. So say, like, for big amounts, right? So 100,000... So 100,000 USDC on Curve, you'd get 99,871. So you'd lose like not even a couple of $100, like 129 bucks. But then Zapper, which kind of takes like the best prices on available. Not that bad really, to be frank, but still you're getting less here. And plus the slippage tolerance is much higher as well. But if you go via Uniswap or Sushi Swap, especially with big sums, like if you make this like $1 million, see, you're only losing just over $1,000 on $1 million USDC. Add that on Zapper and you're, well, still not that bad. But anyway, generally the best place to do stablecoin swapping is Curve. If you didn't know that by now, is what I'm trying to say. Another really super exciting thing about V2 is that you're going to be, actually it may even be coming before V2 comes out, like imminently in fact. And this is like bombshell, yo. Like bomb fucking shell. You will be able to use Ethereum to get alETH, like alUSD, synthetic Alchemix Ethereum. And that's going to come before V2 comes out. In fact, that could come out within a matter of weeks, like imminently, at any point essentially. So this is bullish as fuck, in my opinion. You can't get liquidated because what are you doing? You're borrowing Ethereum with Ethereum. So I can't imagine like what all kind of like super giga brain yield farmers are coming up with all kinds of strategies about how they're going to make use of this. But really opens up lots of new avenues. And also, they're kind of saying that you can use it as a hedge against the price of Ethereum. For example, if you think, like Ethereum has kind of peaked out for the time being, then you can borrow alETH, swap it into stables, and it acts as a hedge. But then you're not really out of Ethereum, but you've hedged yourself out of the price of Ethereum, if you get what I'm saying. Also, and listen up clear, yo. The word on the street, the gangster, is that there's going to be a debt ceiling of like 2k alETH. And a percentage allotment of 6% of weekly ALCX rewards to incentivize the liquidity providers. Now, anyone who goes around thinking, I want to get yield on my Ethereum, will know that Ethereum, generally speaking, does not offer the best rates. It's not going to bring you in like fucking fat stacks. Let's check out Yearn. If you deposit Yearn wrapped Ethereum or Ethereum in Yearn, you'll get 3.43%. If you deposit Ethereum in Aave, you'll only literally get less than 1%, or maybe even less than 0.1%. So where do you assume, when this comes out, all those people wanting to get some extra rewards on top of their Ethereum are going to go? I would labor a guess, when the word gets out, they'll be coming straight to this website on the screen here, aka Alchemix. Not only that, but they'll see that it's being audited in real time by Runtime, who fucking audit Ethereum. Like, they're just like, Ethereum guys, I understand it. Ethereum is the gold standard, right? I understand there incredibly picky about where they put their Ethereum. They want to make sure it's safe and sound. And I completely agree with that. But they're really like crying out like, love Ethereum, but fuck, I'd love some more yield on this baby. Alchemix is going to offer that to them. Plus, it's going to have alETH. So, should they think, I want to hedge myself here, I kind of think locally wise the price of Ethereum is topped off for now, but I want to keep one foot in ETH but keep myself less exposed to the price fluctuations, if you see what I mean. So if they're providing liquidity in Alchemix, however you want to label it, ALCX, then that's all going to get funneled through the system, which means increased yields for everyone. The money is going to follow the money. Which I believe, if this is true, these will be the best rates in town on the very website you're looking at right fucking now. Also, on top of that, I think I know for sure because I heard Scooby Trooples mention it in the Discord. They don't have a Telegram group, by the way. Warning. If you enter a Telegram group claiming to be Alchemix, that Telegram is fake and you should get the fuck out of there ASAP. They do all their talking, discussions, sensible and otherwise, in Discord. Okay. They are adding wrapped BTC and alBTC. Love it, love it, love it. I'm not entirely sure when that's coming, whether that's also coming before V2 or that's coming after V2. They are also talking about adding other AL assets. So, what kind of things could we be thinking about here? AL Link? Shit. SNX? AL SNX? Shit. Uni? AL Uni? YFI? AL YFI? You name it. Countless opportunities. This is extremely exciting. The end cases are just truly countless. You can cash out whenever you want. There's no risk of... you can really essentially cash out without selling by using that kind of system. Do you see what I mean? You can cash out without selling. If that isn't ingenious, I don't know what is. You can leverage with very little risk of losing your pants on getting liquidated, if that's your bag. Really, the only limit is your imagination. And I'm sure there are going to be all these theories flying around and about. Also with V2, they're going to make it much easier to onboard into the Alchemix ecosystem and bring a lot more funds through the protocol, which is terribly exciting because the more funds are moving through the protocol, they are already bringing a staggering amount through the protocol. Despite the fact that it's down at 173rd biggest market cap, which in my mind is criminally undervalued. Disclaimer, no financial advice. But they're promising loads of different options. So when you come back, when it's V2, it's not just going to be 4 things here. There's going to be like a whole bunch. It's going to be like a McDonald's menu. They'll have some preset menus like a Big Mac set, Big Mac meal, filet o fish, you know how it is. But then they'll have their preset ones worked out that they've optimized for the best yields, and then they'll also have a way that you can just build your own kind of version, which sounds amazing. So when V2 happens, then that's when the DAO happens. Essentially, the ALCX is the governance token of that. So it's when you own ALCX, imagine in the most simplest of simple ways I can put it, owning ALCX is like having shares in Alchemix, because you are a shareholder in the process. And plus, when the DAO comes out, they have some really interesting ideas, so it isn't all going to be swayed completely by ginormous whales that are swimming through the sea and have fat bags of ALCX. So the DAO is going to bring in more money to the protocol revenue. That's going to boost everyone's yield. I think they're also talking about insurance. The specifics of that, as far as I know, is still up in the air as well. They are experimenting with different kind of ways how they'll make the voting mechanism works. But one of the things they really want to do is to really encourage the community to be actively involved in the decision-making process, not to be a passive community member, but they will reward you for being an active community member as well. I heard in a podcast, Scoopy Truples, who is like the lead dev of Alchemix, saying that they're working right now on, I think he called it conviction voting, and also talking about gamifying the procedure as well. And also, if you will have more clout essentially for the longer you've been staking ALCX, the longer you've been providing liquidity for ALCX. Plus, the more active you are in voting on different proposals, the more clout you'll get. There's talk about gamifying that in terms of upping your adding like kind of multipliers onto your yield. So it's terribly exciting. So you stake your ALCX in the DAO under V2 when it comes out, and they're also talking about adding these things called material points, right? Short is MPs. So this is another way of, like, the smaller holders, if they're like super active, they can gather up all these MPs, and that will give them a more level playing hand against the bigger holders. So the bigger holders can't just come in and be like, fuck you, this is how we're doing it, if you see what I mean. So it's much fairer. I think there was also some talk about them even like introducing NFTs to it as a way to really show if you're like a big boy player, if you're an OG of the game and shit like that. I think that's how they're planning on gamifying it. They're going that far down the rabbit hole, which is fucking awesome. And apparently these MPs as well, they will be like an ERC-20 token. So if you're not bothered about building up your NFT character or whatever, even if you start accruing these, you can go onto the open market and you can sell them for Ethereum or whatever else you want. But if you want to accumulate them, it might be a way for you to multiply your yield or add a few percent to your yield here or there by getting involved. And it's not going to... I think they're also talking about making a lot of the votes on layer 2 as well. There's lots of talk about them kind of making the voting process on something like Polygon or some other layer 2 where you're not going to pay an absolute ass crack in gas. I know that Ethereum gas is not expensive now, but sure beats paying 5 cents instead of $10. And who knows what the Ethereum gas fees are going to do in the coming months as well. But that is certainly under consideration. So what they're trying to do essentially is to give people a vested interest not only in extracting the maximum gains out of the protocol, which is the whole point of DeFi, of course, but also to actively entice people to join in the community, suggest directions they'd like to see it go in. If the community votes on something, they'll go in that direction. That's how it works. You're a shareholder. You have an ALCX token. You have a say in the direction of the project. Going back to layer 2, yeah, I think they're working on adding some layer 2 options, because they are always trying to stay one step ahead of the game and making sure, you know, you don't want to fall behind, of course. But that being said, the specifics, the real nuts and bolts, are yet to be nailed down in regards to the full picture of what V2 and what the DAO is going to be about. But I certainly can't wait. I'm happy as Larry, swimming along in the ALCX single staking pool. If you prefer to take a touch more risk with impermanent loss, etc., if you think ALCX and Ethereum will kind of basically keep the same kind of price action, if you're more into that, then you can jump in the Sushi pool there and then basically twice as much APR. But yeah, V2, very exciting. Don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we do know that ETH, alETH, alBTC, with wrap BTC, then they're going to go down the list, adding more micro al assets, if that's how you'd like to label it. They're also going to bring in more aggregators. They're talking as well about actually to have like the cash flow from the Treasury running through the actual protocol as well, because right now, even though it doesn't affect users of the protocol, 10% of harvested yield goes to the Treasury. There are no fees for staking Alchemix or anything like that, but this is all for the development of the project. But there is some talk that perhaps that Treasury, which I'm led to believe is already the 6th or 7th biggest war chest financially in US dollarinos in the whole of DeFi. I think they're just slightly behind Maker, and which are one above them, and not far from catching up and leapfrogging them. And then the one beneath them is Balancer, and they have loads more than Balancer. So having all of that flowing through, poured into Alchemix, and then therefore a rising tide lifts all boats, raising the yield for everyone in the protocol. It's all about just making the farms as efficient with the capital as possible, which is gravy. And then they could also use those treasury fees. So we're talking tens, like multiple tens of millions of dollars. Flood it through the system, pull it out, compound it, pull it out, compound it. If that doesn't sound exciting to you, maybe DeFi isn't for you, but that's fucking exciting for me. So V2, we can expect the treasury to balloon further, and that's great, not only for people who are using the protocol, but wonderful for Alchemix as well, and gives it the armor, the funds, the capital, the ability to keep pushing ahead. And you don't need me to tell you why that is a good thing. I can tell you why it's a good thing in 3 words. Very fucking lucrative. I know some people are probably asking like if they're not like big into the DeFi or whatever like that. Also, Frog, yeah, I need to get like ALCX to stake or farm, but like, what are the actual use cases of the actual token and shit? Well, I would say to you, you just kind of answered your own question there in a way, because you actually need the token to farm and be part of the Alchemix system. You also get the voting power when V2 comes along, which, like I said, potentially could have the added benefit of having those extra yield-like abilities. You could become like the magnet man, just magnetizing yield, and yield is flying towards you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Let's talk a little bit more about the tokenomics then. By the way, the market cap as of the time of making the stream is almost $254 million. Very, very low in my opinion. Now, new ALCX minted every week, and these are minted every week to give everyone their mining rewards. However, the amount of ALCX minted decreases and will continue to decrease every week over the next 3 years or so. And at that point, it's just going to flatten out at a predictable rate of inflation, just enough needed to sustain the protocol, but inflation will pretty much have stopped. The emissions will have stopped by then. So, Frog, I hear you ask, wouldn't it be a good time, not financial advice, when emissions are as high as they are ever going to be, and they're only going one way, the emissions, they're going down? Wouldn't you want to stack a fat bag of ALCX and farm the living shit out of it? If you were going to do it, I would say no financial advice. The best time would be now, when the emissions are at the highest they are at this point and will ever be. They will continue decreasing gradually over the next 3 years. So why not enjoy? Why not feast? Feast at the table of yield. And as far as I'm aware, there is some rumorage that Mr. Mark Cuban has a bag of ALCX. I was reading that in the Discord as well, and he seems like quite a shrewd DeFi cat. Right, let's read the chat, and then I'm going to cruise on out. Frog, Tokenomics loves ALCX. This will be good. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Storm K, ALCX gonna pamp. I believe it will do, sir, especially with everything that's coming out. Not only V2, but also when they have ETH, alETH, wrapped Bitcoin, alWBTC. Then if they add all the other big ERC-20 tokens, all these al assets, it's going to be mental. They're using Sushi as well. Yeah, I mean, V2 and what they have coming with what I was just mentioning really does put them in the big league. Really does put them in the big league in terms of blue chip DeFi. And the fact that they're working with runtime verification just tells you everything you need to know. Cancun, it uses Yearn for depositing the DAI and farm on Sushi Curve, and they earn governance tokens. What are their future plans? I just laid it all out. Alchemix V2. Yeah, can't fucking wait, bro. Do you see a woo dip coming? I think it might do. Depends what Bitcoin does. But anything below $1 is a fucking snap the hand off bargain. Frog, gun to your head. If you have some spare cash right this minute, ALCX or woo, sir. Why not have both, sir? Someone dumped apparently 7,500 Bitcoin on Hubi Global. Max supply for... No, the supply is basically infinite. On the circulating supply is... Let's have a look here. On the Etherscan. But there really isn't that much in circulation at all. Like, as of now, there's 1.23 million ALCX. Of which 478,000 have been sent to a burn address. So that's like 38.78% burn address. And most people are just farming the fields with it. No one's really just holding it in their MetaMask. It just really wouldn't make sense from a financial point of view to do that. ALCX is one of my faves. Shit, definitely. Barcy, did you take a loan out yourself, Froggo? No, don't need to. Got stacks of cash, yo. EWRC, I should probably stop trying to make it back with small caps. Getting a few X on ALCX Woo is all I could expect at this point. I would be extraordinarily surprised, right? Like, I personally never thought I'd see the day this was below 4 figures again. I just thank the Lord above for Bitcoin taking a massive shit. Sounds similar to the Flare network bringing multiple assets on the network, but Flare will be giving smart contract capability to those assets. Alchemix would confuse me with the Alchemist, lol. What up, Frog? Sub community. I just hit the like button. If you're reading this, you should too. God dang right, WRLK shit! That is nuts. What do you think the market cap of ALCX will be? Well, it's quite interesting you ask that, because, I mean, if you look here, I'm on the DeFi section of the Gexter. It has a lower market cap. This market cap has a lower market cap than Venus, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a Binance Smart Chain thing that actually got flash loan attacked. It's got a smaller market cap by far than Loopring. It's got a smaller market cap than Reserve Rights, and it should be higher than that in my opinion. 1 inch. I think it should really be in like the... It should be around like with Yearn. So that would put the market cap at 1.4. Like, I think a 5x from here when V2 is up and running. Disclaimer, no financial advice, is well within the realms of possibility. But that's just my own opinion. And that's why I'm just happy as Larry. And I have a bunch of powder dry as well. Should I be so lucky as to grab more. If we look at the chart on the Gexter, we can see this is Alchemix. Like, from when it first hit the Gexter back in February, we're really not that far above where we were back then. So fuck yes, I am with everything that's coming out. The fact that people will be able to deposit their Ethereum and get ALCX rewards, and then they're going to be pouring that into the ALCX pool. They're going to be providing liquidity on Sushi Swap. They're going to be telling all their buddies who have a bunch of Ethereum, "Oi, look what I'm doing." Plus, I can hedge my position if I think without selling my Ethereum. Everyone's going to be fucking loving it. Plus, this is I can't overstate how huge this is. I mean, even it's very rare because normally Alchemix is medium pages updates are rather dry. But for them to actually put bullish as the first word, I think says it all. If you look down here, Runtime Verification is a seasoned security firm and no stranger to Ethereum or blockchains in general. Some of their most notable achievements. So remember, these are the guys working with Alchemix, ALCX. Creating the KEVM to formally verify Ethereum smart contracts. Formally verifying finality of the ETH2 beacon chain. Formally verifying the ETH2 deposit smart contract. Holy fuck, dude. And here it says the launch window for V2 depends on how the audit process goes with runtime verification. They are hoping for an August launch, as I mentioned at the like halfway through the stream, but they're not going to launch until it's ready. But I think they really are aiming, if possible, for August. But apparently they have said, look, if it's ready, third week of July, and Runtime are happy that it's ready, then we launch it then. But then they say the closer they get to launch, all the details and improvements and innovations found in version 2. Oh my god, it's terribly bullish. Very bullish, sirs. Very bullish. The Frogster is très bullish. I think a 5x Frog is giving his conservative estimate, to be honest. Well, I don't want to be like BitBoy. Like I say, I want to be responsible. So I hedged, much like you'll be able to hedge your Ethereum in Alchemix. I hedged my enthusiasm with a sense of responsibility, if you know what I'm saying. But I think the market cap will be much, much higher. So that's why I am solo staking. I mean, in my more degen days, I would be in this one. But after suffering from impermanent loss, I mean, to be quite frank with you, considering you do earn like double the APR, I mean, even if you do suffer a bit of impermanent loss, it's really up to you to calculate. You can calculate as well on VFAT tools. If you deposit in any of these pools, it will show you what your returns, percentage returns in a week, a day, and a year, and also it will do like a estimate of how much you'll earn in yield over a day, a week, and a year. It's very useful, and Alchemix is on vfat.tools. If you're doing DeFi and haven't used vfat.tools, you really should definitely check that page out, most certainly. Alright, gang. That's where we're going to leave it. As I said, this was absolutely no financial advice. Do your own research on Alchemix. Alchemix. There's different ways of saying it. I'm not a burger, so I'll say it how I want. Alchemix. ALCX. I'm a big fan. Big fucking fan. Thumbs up for the algorithm if you agree. Share with all your socials. Share it in your Telegram group. Share it on your Facebook page. I don't use Facebook. Subscribe. Tell all your buddies that the best fucking cryptocurrency channel is Crypto Frog. There is no doubt in anyone's mind. And he wears the best fucking Gucci pants in the business. Alchemix V2 coming soon. Bullish DeFi pick for 2021 into 2022. 2023. Huge things in the works. I suggest you take a listen or you read. Join the Discord of Alchemix. Take a listen to the various podcasts that Scooby Trooples, the main dev of ALCX, has done. You'll hear a very impressive young man. Also, disclaimer, even though I'm basically tonguing his balls right now, I was not paid by ALCX to make this stream. I should just point that out. However, I am an investor, so he probably doesn't mind me tonguing his balls. Wow, that is some ultra thick gravy. Woo, pamping Frogster. Always pamps when Crypto Frog makes a stream about absolutely anything. So here's what I want you to do. Tell everyone you know to subscribe to Crypto Frog, because all the best gravy lives here. Like this video, share this video, comment below when this replay comes up, and get me to 10k subs. That would be legendary. Alright, cats. Peace out. Thank you for the nice comments as the music was playing there. Until we meet again, thank you very much for your viewership. It's greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and sub.